That's where we were, this is where we are. We're pretty happy. You see the different colors here. This purple, explained by GDP. This pink, explained by social support. Is that orange? That's healthy life expectancy, not life expectancy, healthy life expectancy. The green, freedom to make life choices, generosity, some others. This dystopian one is interesting. They have a hypothetical country called dystopia that is equivalent to the lowest happy country plus 1/2 of the average difference between the lowest and the rest, which kind of gives you a normalized number for the whole. Does that kind of make sense? You know, we're 18th out of 156. We're pretty happy. There's some reasons why. Notice the productivity, 0 to 3%. We're investors. We're more productive everywhere. We are producing more and more and more and more. We're keeping an eye on global risk, global issues. This is the impact on equities. This is relative likelihood of event. This is low, that's high, low, high. Look at that. That is the most likely thing that would impact equities is if we had a long-time trade war with our major trade partner, China. That would be a problem. Again, it could happen. I don't anticipate that as a baseline. I anticipate there to be a lot of argument with a solution at the end. This, I just recently saw a presentation from an EU ambassador, and he gave a 30-minute impassioned speech about the real benefit of the EU is peace. It has nothing to do with economic union. It is peace. And we have to keep that in the back of our minds because fragmentation in the EU brings bitter border skirmishes and things back. Very, very bad for economics, very, very bad for markets, very, very bad for the people. Still pretty low likelihood of something like that happening. I'm going to do a little math here. Let's say we have, right now it's 43 billion plus a little bit from new things. Let's say we put a tariff on $200 billion of Chinese goods. Let's say we do that. And let's say we call it a 20% tariff. 200 billion, 20% tariff. What is that as a tariff? How much is the total spend on that tariff?
40 billion.
40 billion. Now, what does that do to the price of our shirts in real dollar terms? A little bit. It costs each family in the United States $400, $500. It's not a huge thing. Is it bad? Yes, it's bad because it's focused, right? Some people are going to pay that a lot more. Some people can't afford it. It's not good. It doesn't help anybody. But is it going to destroy the markets and the earnings? No. So in some cases, companies can't raise their prices, so they're going to have to eat that. It'll affect their earnings. In other cases, they'll be able to raise their prices, and it'll cost us a little bit more to do things. This is a Boeing plane. Look at this piece, France, Japan, Australia, UK, Canada, Japan, Sweden, UK. All these different pieces are built elsewhere, put together, and then we sell these places all over the planet. You can do it with a pencil, right? You can do it with everything. The market is global. We're talking about right here is we're talking about the steel industry. So jobs in U.S. industries that use steel or inputs made of steel outnumber those involved in the production of steel roughly 80 to 1. When we put a tariff on steel, the production of steel, theoretically, we're benefiting those industries that use steel as an input, boosting those jobs and costing these other jobs, theoretically. And these are all the different areas. So we have high, low impact. We have no alternative sources, lots of alternative sources. So this is dependence, this is impact. And these are lots of different areas. So this is the spot right up here, aircraft engines and parts, pork, ethanol, rail cars, where you get the biggest impact for US companies. Down here, it matters less, because we do it all here already. Again, I don't think we'll have a long-term, massive trade war. I think we'll have a trade skirmish, and I think we'll come to a resolution on the trade skirmish. I think that's how it works out. I hope that's how it works out. I don't find him predictable in any way, so right? So, but I do think that there's a lot of handlers. I don't know that any of them are effective, but I do think that there's a greater goal in place. You hear this a lot. What if China sells the treasuries? They own $1.17 trillion. What if they sell the treasuries? Who do they hurt if they sell the treasuries? They're not going to sell the treasuries. What happens if they sell treasuries? What happens to their currency? It's no benefit for them. They're not going to sell the treasuries. They may, and they have, slowed down their purchase of treasuries, which means that we may have fewer buyers, which means the rates we pay for the treasury interest rate might go higher. All that's real. Can they do that for a long time? No, because then their trade arrangement with us gets screwed up because they don't have their currency gets screwed up relative to ours. So you remember this slide last time? So this was the very peak in January. This was like 54. This was 20-something. You just kind of did a flip-flop. I'm just noting how when you ask people how they feel about markets when markets are really high, they really like markets and they want to invest more. When markets are kind of low or kind of they don't like things and they really kind of don't want to invest any. Note the reverse of that is the correct way to think.